It's good to be with all of you today. And Scott didn't mention that's Trinity Western University where I serve in those roles. On behalf of the President, Mark Husbands of Trinity Western University faculty and staff, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to Vancouver Aviation College, to Mustafa, to your family. I've got the names. I'd like to recognize everyone because this is truly a family achievement. And Reza, I'm going to give a shot at trying to say your last name. Kotorachaj.
Yes, that's right.
I'm close.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I'm doing my best. Mustafa and Reza, I'd like to congratulate Reza. He's a Master of Arts in Leadership graduate from Trinity Western University who just graduated in April and won an award for, I think, Future Leader at Trinity Western University. So we're very pleased for that. And all the other family members who are here, and congratulations on this great accomplishment. When I think of flying, I just actually got back from a trip. I was in UK and then I took a little jaunt over to the Netherlands, was in Amsterdam for a couple of days, then I went over to Dubai for a couple of days. I came home, I was home for a day, and then I flew to Toronto to pick up my son, who's a baseball player. He's a pitcher in Niagara University, and they were supposed to lose their final game and they didn't. So they won and they went to the playoffs, so I didn't come home with them. Anyways, long story. So the last 2 weeks, I've been in more flights than I've been in 2 years. So I've been up. But I'm going to talk a little bit, just for a quick second, about three things that I think intersect, 3 F's. There's a fourth F that I won't say, but it's only when things go wrong. But there's 3 F's I say: flight, physics, and faith. And it's interesting when you think about what goes into flying. What goes into flying is an incredible understanding of physics, how to get lift. And we talk about flying, but none of us really fly, right? A plane lifts the ground for us, right? Your dreams of flying aren't being in an airplane. Your dreams of flying are flying, and I'm a psychologist, so I can tell you that it's not usually about freedom. Usually dreams about flying are about escape of something that we don't like, that's unpleasant. But we won't go there because this is not a psychotherapy session. But flying is really the physics of getting the ground into the air, right? It's the physics of taking an object and getting it. When I listen to the pilot getting on a plane, he says, well, welcome to the flight. You're here, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go to a cruising altitude of 30,000 feet. And once we get a little bit longer, we're going to go up to 45,000 feet. That's going to take us the journey. There's some, turbulence over Alaska and a little bit over Greenland, but it should be a safe ride, blah, blah, blah. So they tell us all that kind of thing. I don't know. Does anyone have any concept of what 30,000 feet is, other than someone who flies? I just know that it's way up there. Right? And so the physics of raising the ground, right, leads to flight, but all of it is dependent on faith. Now, the faith has a lot of layers to it. You have to have the faith that the plane was constructed properly, the faith that someone knew what they were doing when they built the plane. But in higher education, what we do in higher education is we instill faith in credentials. Right? The faith in a credential is that the person who achieves that credential has gone through a process that equips that person in the future to be able to perform a certain set of functions that people can trust. Right? If you have a doctor, you hope that the doctor has trained in properly doing surgery, or a nurse knows how to properly insert a needle. Right? And when you have an aviation college, right, they are instillers of faith in the next generation of pilots. The job that is going to be done here is to create a place where we can have faith in what is produced here, and we can have enough faith that we're willing to step foot into a plane, to allow our packages to travel out in those planes, put our children and our families in those planes, and trust, right, that through the education, through the equipping of Vancouver Aviation College, we are going to get safely back on the ground. And so I just want to recognize the accomplishments of Mustafa and your family, this great facility. This facility, by the way, is nothing without students learning, studying, being equipped, and setting the stage for the next generation of graduates that we can place our trust in. And so congratulations. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.